I knew you'd take church, but I want to thank you for it. In Jesus' name. I've got one more biscuit and honey left, and I'm going to eat that, and I've got to get on my way. I may have a long way to go today. So he ate his last biscuit and honey. It was good. He said, I wish I had something I could eat another time. I'm really hungry. But he only had one left, so he just had that one. So he got to eating that, and he thought, well, I think it's fair time. I better get out of my boat. Get in my boat, get on down the river. So Billy walks down on the river. Oh, no! Where's my boat? Oh! What has happened to my boat? I don't have a boat. What am I going to do? Well, no one's been here. What has happened? Why is my boat? He goes over to the edge of the river and he looks. This is far and looks. No boat. Okay. Oh, no. I know. I forgot to take the rope and tie it to the tree. My boat has drifted away. I don't have any boat. Well, all I got left is my 2 feet. I guess that means there's nothing for me to do but just to walk. So Billy starts out walking. And the worst thing, he didn't have his sandals on. He left his sandals in the boat. He's barefoot. And there he's got to go through all barefoot. And he has to be careful he didn't step on a stick or something. So Billy started out walking. Here he was feeling so good when he got up. Felt like he could just do about anything. Find a line almost when he felt so good. Now he was all depressed and downhearted. Walk, 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 walk. And he'd get tired every once in a while, he'd just sit down and rest. And he was getting hunger all the time. Oh, if I just had a biscuit, if I just had a little cake, if I just had anything to eat, I'm hungry. But where am I going to find anything hungry? Here, Jesus, I wish somewhere I could find some food. That's all in a little bit. Oh, there. He found a bush with some berries on it. He stopped and picked a whole handful of berries, so they tasted so good. And he think it was better than nothing, wasn't it? It tasted so good to him, he just ate all the berries on the bush, and he was really getting full. Well, it's time I better get the one away, because I don't know how far I'm going to go. So he gets up and he walks, and he walks, and he walks. Pretty soon he stopped. I thought he heard something. Far, far away. No, I did hear something. That sounds like a drum. I'm going to get closer to people, so I'm going to hurry. And the closer he gets, the louder it gets. And it gets louder. And it gets louder. And it gets louder. And louder. All at once it stopped. So he knew he must get his close to somebody. He gets up there and looks around the trees. Sure enough, there's a whole bunch of people, black people. And he looked through those trees. They were just all together in front of us. They had red paint, white paint, green paint, yellow paint. They were all painted up. He thought, I wonder what they're doing. Now, he hadn't seen a lot of black people in Africa, but he'd always been going up the river with his dad, and they just were all painted up there. And he just didn't know what they were doing. He thought, I wonder what they're doing. What they're talking about. They just kind of walk around, and they're all getting they talk. Pretty soon they go, oh, whoa, 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 woo, woo, woo. Oh, whoa, 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 woo, woo, woo. What were they doing? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa, woo. Oh, whoa, whoa, woo. We've never seen anything like that before. But he wanted to be careful, he didn't want to see. So he kind of stayed behind the trees and he'd watch. Then they'd get together and they'd talk. Then they'd walk around again. He couldn't figure out what they were doing. I'm going to get just a little bit closer. See what I can see. So he moves around the tree. Moves a little bit closer. Find the big tree, get over that big tree. Keeps around. And they just keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Billy thought, well, I'm going to get as close as I can get to see what's going on. But I don't want to see. If they see me, they might get me. And if they got me, I don't want they might do to me. So Billy looks around very carefully. Around first one tree, and around another tree. Around another tree. And they go. And they listen. And they begin to play the drums again. They begin to play the drums again. louder and louder and louder and louder. And then they stop. Stop all at once. He said, well, there's no place I can go. I might as well stay here. I'm going to get her to do some walk. They hadn't seen me yet. Oh, I want to stumble. Oh, my. Oh, I hurt my leg. I hope it didn't hear me. Oh, my. What did I stumble? He turns around and looks down. Well, I do declare. What do you think you saw on the ground? What do you think you stumbled over? Well, you were going to wait till tomorrow night to find out. No, a thing. Ron! Remember, he was looking around these trees and watched those natives all painted up dance. And he was in this wooded area where he was at, and the trees was pretty thick, and it was getting a little dark in there. But that wasn't the reason. He wasn't paying any attention where he was going. He was looking around those trees at those people, and he didn't pay attention, and he stumbled. After he stumbled, he turned around and looked to see why he stumbled. And sitting down there on the ground was a little black boy. Well, the little black boy was a little bit scared. He had never seen a white boy before. And Billy said, "Hi." The little black boy said, "Who are you? Where'd you come from? What do you want? Are you an evil spirit?" Billy said, "No, I'm not an evil spirit. My name is Billy. I came from up the river, and I came down here looking for a pal or a friend, somebody I can talk to about Jesus." "Who's Jesus?" Billy said, "That's another friend of mine." Billy said, "What's your name?" "No good." "What do you mean no good?" I said, "What's your name?" "My name is Billy. What's your name?" "No good." "Well, what do you mean no good?" "That's my name. Everybody calls me no good." "Well, why would they call you no good?" "Because they've always called me no good. Because I'm just no good." "Why, yes, you are. Everybody's got a little bit of good in them. Jesus didn't make anybody that was just all bad. There's got to be a little bit of good." "No. Nobody likes me. I don't have any friends. My mother and father don't like me. I can't do anything, so I'm just no good. They always call me that." Billy said, "I'll be your friend. I'd like to be your friend." No good said, "Are you sure? You're sure you're not an evil spirit?" "No, I'm not an evil spirit. I'm good. I come to tell you about Jesus." So no good then had never heard of Jesus. He hadn't been in Sunday school like you boys and girls had. He didn't know who Jesus was. And Billy finally said, "Well, what are these people out here dancing around for and yelling?" Said, "What are they doing that for?" No good said, "They're trying to keep the evil spirits away." Billy said, "Oh, I don't believe in that." He said, "I believe in Jesus." Well, of course, no good had never heard about Jesus. No good said, "They're keeping the evil spirits away." Billy said, "That's not true." "Yes, it is." He said, "The evil spirits will come and do bad things." "Are you sure you're not an evil spirit?" Billy said, "No, I'm not an evil spirit. I'm good." No good says, "They pray to their gods and nothing happens." Billy said, "You pray to my God, things will happen. My God's name is Jesus." Well, no good just didn't understand at all. No good said, "They pray to these gods and they ask them for our sick people to get well. Our sick people never get well." Billy said, "No, because they're praying to the wrong gods." Billy said, "I'd like to talk to you about Jesus, but I don't think this is the right time, the right place to do it." Said, "Sometime I'd like to talk to you about Jesus. Tell you all the wonderful things he can do, tell you how he can answer prayer, how he can help you, he'll make sick people well." But this was all something new and different to no good. He had never heard tell us such a thing. Billy said, "Well, what am I going to do?" He said, "Here I am." Said, "I lost my boat. It drifted away. But Jesus took care of me. I had to walk all the way down here, but nothing happened to me. And I prayed and Jesus took care of me. I see the God I serve answers prayer. It's not like these ones that you pray to." So Billy looked around the trees again. They were still out there dancing and carrying on, acting real silly. Billy thought, "That's no way to be a friend. They're just wasting their time. Billy says, what did they pray to? And he said, oh, those that said they pray to animals and birds and all kind of things. And we just got a lot of gods. Billy said, there's only one real true God. But poor Nosgood, he just couldn't understand this at all. He just never heard of it. You boys and girls are lucky you get to go to Sunday school and you can learn about Jesus. But Nosgood didn't know anything about it. Billy said, well, where's your mother and father? Nosgood said, oh, they're down there. Said, they don't care anything about me. They said, I don't get the thing. You see, even go home tonight. They don't care anything about me. They don't care if I never come back. Billy said, oh, I don't think so. He said, my mother and father love me. They look after me and take care of me. Well, my parents don't like me. They wish I'd just go away and never come back. Nosgood said, what are you going to do? He said, I don't think I can take you home with me tonight. Well, I don't know. I haven't got any place to go. I don't know how I'm going to get home. I don't have my boat anymore. My boat's gone. I don't know what I'm going to do either. Nosgood said, well, let me think. You act to me like you're a pretty good guy. Maybe you will be my friend. Nosgood said, I really need a friend because I just don't have any here. Billy said, I told you I'd be your friend. I'll be good to you. Nosgood said, well, if you really want to be my friend, and really be good to me, and really like me, he said, maybe I can help you tonight. He said, maybe I can take you and hide you someplace so nobody will find you. Billy said, that could really be great. I wish you'd do that because I don't have any place to go. Nosgood said, well, first of all, I've got to get up. So Billy said, well, first of all, I want to ask you something. Why aren't you out there dancing with them other men and boys? Nosgood said, well, I got a good reason. Billy said, what is it? Nosgood said, well, help me get up off the ground here. So Billy said, well, help me up. What will he help me for? So helped him up. And Nosgood said, well, this is why I can't go out there and dance. I can't bend my legs, so therefore I'm no good. I can't work. I can't walk like the rest of them can. I can't get out there and dance. My legs won't bend. I'm a cripple. And that's why nobody likes me. Billy felt sorry for him. Billy said, well, I like you. Nosgood said, well, nobody else does, but because my legs. And they say that I'm full of evil spirits because I can't bend my legs. Billy said, that's not true. He said, you're not bad. But I think there's a lot of good in you. And Nosgood said, well, said, if you'll follow me, he said, I'm going to take you. I think there's a place I can hide you, and they won't find you. So he said, now you follow me, because I know where I'm going. So Nosgood starts out. I couldn't go very fast. He had to walk real slow. So Billy said, now come on, you stay behind me, and you follow me. It's a good little ways down here. He went down there for a while and he turned the corner around and looked back. He said, I wish I could walk faster like you do, Billy. I bet you can run fast too, can't you, Billy? Billy didn't answer. Nosgood said, Billy, I'm talking to you. Can you run real fast? Wasn't an answer. Nosgood turned around. Billy? Billy! Where are you, Billy? No Billy. He couldn't find Billy anywhere. He looked behind the trees. No Billy. What do you suppose happened to Billy? He was following right along, and when Nosgood turned around, there was no Billy. You can't guess where he was. And you won't know till tomorrow night what happened to him. Crippled in his leg, remember where we were leaving last night? Nosgood was taking hiding one day. He told Billy to follow behind him. And Billy followed for a while, and then Nosgood was talking to him, and Billy didn't answer. Remember, Nosgood turned around, and there was no Billy. He thought, well, maybe he's hiding. He said, Billy, Billy, where are you? Are you behind one of them trees over there? Are you hiding from me? Remember, you couldn't walk. I thought you wanted to be my friend. What did you run off and leave me? I guess I still won't have any friends. I thought sure you would be my friend. All of us Nosgood looked around and saw Billy, there was two men, one on each side of Billy, and they had their hand over his mouth. There had been two men that had heard the voice and had seen them after all, and they had grabbed Billy away from following No Good. And No Good said, I wonder what they're going to do with him. I'm not much help. I ought to go help him. I'm not much help to him. He watched for a little while, and he was dragging right up to the circle where there's all in that circle. Remember I told you they was dancing around that circle? That's where there was a going to take Billy. No Good thought, well, I'm going to find out what they're doing. So No Good starts up there where they're at. Or No Good gets down and can't be in that way and yet all the time. He gets up there and he tries to see what they're doing in there. Well, they're going around and singing, and he can't see anything. He tried to pull them apart so he could get in there and see him. He just couldn't see anything, and the men got aggravated at him. No Good, leave us alone. Go away. Yeah, but you've got my new friend in there. And No Good just made a pest of himself. So they finally took No Good, put him right in the middle of that circle with Billy. There the two boys were. What was they going to do with them? They kept singing and dancing around and left the two boys in the circle. No Good said, what are we going to do? He said, what's going to happen to us? What are we going to do? Billy said, well, I don't know what you're going to do, but what I'm going to do, he said, I'm going to pray. So Billy he wasn't real loud, though, because he didn't know what they might do, so he prayed, dear Jesus, take care of us. Don't let them do anything to us. In Jesus' name. They didn't do anything to him. But some of the men got together and put their heads together and talked for their sin. So then they came back and they got both the boys. They got No Good and they got Billy. They drug them off to a little old hut they had out there, pushed them in there, and then they took and stacked stuff up in front of the doorway so they couldn't get out. And somebody set guard out there. I was sitting out there watching, so make sure they didn't get away. And there they two boys were, and No Good said, what are we going to do in here? And Billy said, I guess we're just going to stay in here until they decide what they're going to do with us. Billy said, you think that maybe they'll kill us? No Good said, I don't know. Said, they think that the evil spirits have sent you and think that, he said, I think that they think that you're going to do something to us. Billy said, I'm not going to do anything to you. Well, we're in here, Billy said, so why don't we talk? Why don't we talk about Jesus? No Good said, well, I can't talk about Jesus. I don't know anything about him. Billy said, well, said, I can tell you a lot about him. Billy said, I wish I had my Bible with me. And No Good said, what's a Bible? Billy was telling him the Bible told him all about Jesus. He said, I brought my Bible, but said, I left it in the boat with my sandals, and it went floating away in the boat. I don't have my Bible now. But he said, I can tell you all the good things that Jesus has done for me. He said, he's answered my prayers, said he's made me well when I was sick, said he's taken care of me just like when I lost my boat. Said, Jesus took care of me all through the woods. Nothing happened to me. He said, you can just always depend upon Jesus. Said, Jesus is the best friend you have. Said, I'll be your friend, but said, there's not a friend anywhere like Jesus. You can always depend on Jesus. He won't never leave you or desert you or anything. Boys, girls. So No Good was listening very close. He wondered, he said, I think I'd like to know more about this Jesus. He was talking about him. So Billy told No Good how when Billy was just a little boy, about 6 years old, he prayed and gave his heart to Jesus. And he'd been a good boy, working for Jesus, telling other boys and girls all about it. Billy says, in fact, said, I'm just a little missionary. Said, my father's a missionary, telling everybody about Jesus. Said, I'm telling you about Jesus, so I'm just a little missionary too. And you know, you boys and girls can be a missionary. You don't have to go clear to Africa like Billy did. You can be a little missionary around your playmates, your ones at school, tell them what you know about Jesus. Some boys and girls never go to Sunday school. They never hear about Jesus. And you boys and girls who go to Sunday school have a chance to talk to the other friends and tell them about Jesus. You don't always have to go to Africa. You can be a missionary right here in Brownsburg or Indianapolis or Plainfield or Danville, wherever you live. But No Good listened very carefully. He said, that don't sound like the gods that we serve. And Billy said, well, I know, said, Jesus is not like your God. Said, your gods are animals and birds and stuff. They can't answer prayer. But said, our God that I serve, his name is Jesus. He can answer your prayer. No Good said, that really sounds good to me. He said, I believe you're telling the truth because, said, he has taken care of you, hasn't he? He said, look, said, nothing happened to us out there in the circle. Said, you prayed and nothing happened to us. Well, Billy, do you think there's any way I might know this Jesus you're talking about? You think he might be my friend? Billy said, I'm sure you'll be your friend. But no good said, well, I don't know. He said, I'm not like you. I'm not the same color you are. Would he like me? Billy said, oh, he said, Jesus loves everybody. He don't care whether you're red or white or black or yellow. Said, he loves Jesus, loves everybody in the whole wide world. Said, sure, Jesus would love you. No good said, well, Billy, what do I have to do? Billy said, well, you have to pray. Well, I don't know how to pray. Billy said, I'll show you how to pray. He said, I'll teach you how to pray. Said, you better tell Jesus that you're sorry for all the bad things you've done. No good said, well, I guess I have done some bad things. Billy said, everybody does some bad things sometimes. But said, you have to tell Jesus that you're sorry for those bad things. You'll never do them again. You'll never tell stories. You'll always mind mom and dad what they tell you to do. Ask him to come into your heart. And then after he comes into your heart, you have to keep those promises. You have to live good. You can't do anything that's bad. And then you have to get baptized too sometimes. Well, how am I going to get baptized? And Billy said, well, I'll tell you, said, maybe when I go back up the river to my folks, maybe you go along my dad can baptize you. Well, he's good. And no good said, I think I'd like that. Billy said, said, I know what. Said, maybe when we go back to my other home, back in the other country, way across the ocean, said, maybe you can go with us then. Said, if nobody likes you here, said, you can go with us. He said, I'll bet you we can find a doctor that can make your leg better. And then you can walk just like I do. Oh, that made no good. He said, oh, I like that. Oh, I wish we could go. Said, I wish I could walk like you. Wish I could run. I wish I knew all the things that you know about Jesus. Billy said, you can learn all the things that I know. Said, we'll see if you can't. If we get out of this place here, said, who knows what's going to happen here? But if we get out of here, said, we're going to see if you can go with me. Oh, that'd make me happy. And Billy said, all right, let's pray. So Billy got down with no good and began to pray. Told no good how to pray and to ask Jesus to come into his heart. So prayed for a long time. And then no good said, I'd like to talk some more. And they talked almost all night, I think. They said, well, we better get a little bit of sleep. And Billy says, I tell you what we're going to do before we get any sleep. He said, I've just been thinking here. He said, you pray, you've asked Jesus to come into your heart. You have a clean heart now. There's something else you need. He said, you need a new name. He said, I don't like that name, no good. He said, I'm going to give you a new name. No good said, really? He said, can you do that? Billy said, I sure can. He said, now let me see. Do I like Billy? No, he said, you can't have that. That's my name. He said, we don't want two Billys. How about Bill or Tom? Or let me, no, I don't think I like them. I know what. I'm going to change your name to Charlie. Charlie? Charlie? Hey, I think I like it. That sounds pretty good. I'm no longer no good. I'm Charlie. Billy said, that's right. So I'm going to call you Charlie from now on. Oh, that made no good feel real happy. So now I'm going to call him Charlie. There is no more no good anymore. So the boys decided, well, we're trying to take a little nap before time. We don't know what we're going to do in the morning. They knew there was a man outside guarding them, and they knew they couldn't get away, so might as well go to sleep. So, good night, Charlie. Good night, Billy. And they lay down on the ground. That's all they had in there. Just lay down on the ground and trying to go to sleep. And Charlie said, Billy said, you know what? I feel good. He said, I feel so good. I just feel so clean and so good. And Billy said, that's because you've asked Jesus to come into your heart. He said, well, there's something. I feel different. He said, well, we better take a little nap. He was trying to go to sleep, and all at once, Charlie says, Billy, are you asleep? Well, I was almost asleep till you started calling me. What do you want? Charlie said, I think I hear a noise. Billy said, oh, it's just that man outside. He said, don't worry about it. Let's go to sleep. No, Billy, listen. So Billy raised up on his elbow. Yeah, I knew there was somebody, more than one person walking around. Oh my, do you suppose they've come to get us already? What do you suppose they're going to do with us? Oh, I don't know, but maybe you better pray again, Billy. Billy said, Charlie, you better pray. He said, you got Jesus in your heart now. And the voice got louder. Billy said, well, I don't know about you, but I'm scared. Charlie said, I'm scared too. What do you suppose they're going to do? You think they're going to maybe kill us or make soup out of us or something? Nobody knew what they were going to do. And the voice got louder and louder. So the boys didn't get to go to sleep. But we have to wait till tomorrow night to see what that noise was. It's getting closer to them, and it really had them scared. But tomorrow night we'll finish our story, and it will either have a happy ending or a sad ending. But you'll have to wait to find out what kind of an ending it has, what really happens to the two boys, and you might be surprised what happens to them. Yeah, we left them locked up, didn't we? So they was wondering what in the world was going on. Who all was out there? Well, I think it's time we found out. They moved all the stuff down to the front of the door, and Charlie and Billy looked at the door, and you can't get what they saw. Standing right in front of the door was a real big black man, all painted red, yellow, green, blue, pink, all kind of colors. Stand like that. What in the world do you want? Billy said, "You supposed to come and get us?" Charlie said, "I don't know," so he's the witch doctor. And said, on that he's afraid that the evil spirits have sent you. You're going to do something real bad here. But Charlie said, "Well, I know you're not going to do it." He does. And Billy said, "How do we get it rid of you?" Charlie said, "I don't know." Billy said, "I know one thing." He said, "I'm scared." Charlie said, "Well, you know what you told me to do whenever you're scared? Pray." Billy said, "Well, why don't you pray, Charlie?" Charlie said, "Well, Billy said, Jesus knows you more better than he knows me." He said, "He don't know me very long." He said, "He'll probably hear you before he hear me." So Billy said, "Well, maybe I better pray." So he goes right up in front of that big black man, and Billy begins to pray. "Dear Jesus, take care of me and Charlie right now. You've always taken care of me. Whenever I call and ask anything in your name, you always do it. So please, dear Jesus, in the name of Jesus." He said, "In Jesus' name." Ooh, that black man comes right through the door. He laughed. Charlie said, Billy said, he answered your prayers again, and he said, "I really begin to believe." He said, "You told me a lot of things that you prayed that Jesus wanted your prayers." He said, "I saw it happen this time." Said that witch doctor got away from there in a hurry. So nothing happened to them, and they were so relieved. It was just about morning time now, so Billy said, "We might as well get up and go see your mother and father." He said, "We're going to go down and ask them if you can go home with me, and then if we go back to my other home way across the ocean, if you can go, so we can find a doctor that maybe help your legs so you can walk like I do." That made Charlie feel real good. He said, "All right." He said, "Let's go see him then." So Billy and Charlie go down to where his mother and father are. And when his father saw him, he said, "No good. What are you doing here?" "I'm not no good anymore. That's not my name." He said, "I got a new name." "Your name is no good. It's always been no good and always will be." "I got a new name. My name's Charlie." "Where did you find a name like that?" "Billy gave me a new name after I gave my heart to Jesus. He said that he knew there was some good in me." He said he didn't like that old name was no good, so he gave me a new name. "Well, you're no good. You're still no good." "But Father, I gave my heart to Jesus. I'm different now. I even feel different. And I'm going to be called Charlie from now on." Billy said, "We come to ask you something very important." He said, "Can Charlie go back up the river with me to see my folks?" "I don't care what he does. He's no good." "Oh, no, I'm not. I'm Charlie." He likes that name. Billy said, "And we might go clear back to my other home, clear across the ocean." He said, "Can he go that way?" "Sure. Take him. We don't want him. He's no good." Well, that made Charlie feel kind of bad to hear his father say he's no good. But we know that's not so. There's a little bit of good in everybody, isn't there? Not all bad, no. So that made Billy and Charlie both real happy. We're going to get to go together. And Billy said, "Well," he said, "I don't know what to do unless we walk." Charlie said, "Oh," said, "we can go down there and get a boat. We got some boats down here." So Billy said, "All right, come on, let's go down and see if we can find a boat." So Billy goes on. He's in a hurry. He's so good. And Charlie said, "Billy," said, "will you wait a minute?" He said, "You know that I can't go as fast as you do. You know I can't walk like you do. Slow down a bit." So Billy just feels happy. He couldn't wait to get down. When they finally got down to the water, down to the river, and Billy said, "Charlie, look!" He said, "Look right there." He said, "There's my boat." The one that drifted away from me said, that's my boat. Said, I know it is. So Billy goes over and looks at his boat. Yep, this is mine. There's my sandals and there's my Bible. I found my boat. Oh, Billy was really feeling good. He had prayed and asked the Lord, asked Jesus, help me find my boat sometime. But he did it one time. That's all he ever asked about. And Charlie said, well, I do need prayer. If you prayed about it, there it is. But I'm really a believer. So Billy and Charlie get into the rowboat. And they were talking. They said, you know, said, I just feel real good. Billy said, I really feel good. She said, I come down here to find a new friend. Said, I found you. Said, I was a little missionary. Besides, said, I told you all about Jesus. And you give your heart to Jesus. And said, now you get to go home with me. And I found my boat. Said, I feel good. And Charlie said, you feel good. Said, what do you think about me? Said, I feel wonderful. But I got two friends. Said, I've got you. And I've got Jesus as my friend. I got a new name. I get to go with you. I don't stay here anymore. I won't be called no good anymore. Said, it's the best day of my life. They started rolling that boat. Rolling. Charlie said, I feel so good. I just don't know what to do. Billy said, I know what. Said, I feel good too. Said, let's sing a song. Let's sing that song I was singing today. Let's sing that song, Yes, Jesus Loves Me.